very official. Good morning, class. This is recording is done during my first period class. What we're going to be looking at is how to create a clipping mask type. Now, all my classes have already done the practice using our first and last name. What you're going to be doing for this lesson is you're going to be choosing two opposite words, opposite meanings. So in my example here, we have big and we have small. And of course, those are opposite in meaning. This is what we're talking about. There's no other meaning to the word opposite except when we're talking about the big and small. So big is opposite of small, white is opposite of black, tall is opposite of short, but you're going to think of your own two words. Okay? Now I'm going to start from scratch. So I'm going to go to new. First thing you're going to do is add your first initial last name like we typically do with an underscore. And you're going to call it clipping type. Clipping type. The clipping refers to the clipping mask. The type refers to the subject matter. You're going to have a 5 width, 5 height. Make sure it's in inches. Okay? First thing I like to do is establish a color for my background. So I'm just going to do that quickly. You can always change it later on. Okay? So as you know, to fill with the foreground color, which currently is sitting at blue, you would use your Option Delete keys. And this should be review for you because you did that for the last lesson. I'm going to go to my Type tool, and you know where that is. And let's see if my glitch, okay, my glitch is now gone. Okay, so with your Type tool, you want to click directly onto the canvas. Remember, don't make a text box, no reason to do that. Up in the options bar, you can make the settings before you type, or you can type first and then alter the settings. Whichever you want, it'll work. I prefer to start off with my 72 on the preset. I go to the largest first. And of course, you have to think of the two words that you want to use for your opposite meanings. I'm going to do, let's see. Now, I started typing with the blue, and of course, we're not going to see it because the background's blue. So I'm going to change my color. And I'll change it to this deep purple. I know, that's a rock band. Crazy will be my first word. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and double click the T to highlight. And now I'm going to create a larger text. Because what we want is a nice, large, bold word. All right? Also, while it's highlighted, you can decide to change your font. Please choose a font that actually has English letters as opposed to the wingdings and webdings and whatever the other names are called. Okay. Good bold font. This is called Stencil, and you're welcome to use Stencil. But for the next word that you choose, make sure the font's different. But we'll get back to that. Now, I'm going to ask someone from the class what they remember about the next step. Linus.
You have to convert it into a shape.
That's correct. How should I go about doing that?
You left-click the blue area.
Left click?
Right-click.
Thank you. It's always right click. So in the layer, as you say, Linus, we're going to get this menu, and we go to Convert to Shape. Thank you very much. All right, now you're going to show me how well you know how to use the selection tool. And we want to use both the path selection, shown by the black arrow, and the white arrow, which is known as the direct selection. So I'll start with the path selection. The path selection allows you to move those individual paths. Now these are just paths, but they are in the shape of letters. They're no longer considered, or this is no longer considered a type layer. Once you convert it, it's no longer a type layer. And that just means you can't change the font family. You can't change the font size. Okay? So it's no longer a type layer. But what you can do is you can create these interesting effects by manipulating individual paths. So as you saw, I used the Control-T to free transform this C. I can come back there. I can rotate it. I could skew it. I could do a number of things in the free transform tool. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep it like that. What I want to do is I want to arrange my paths in an interesting manner, and I also want to make sure they're large enough so that when we do clip the other word, that it's going to fall in nicely. Keep that in mind. Make sure it's large enough so that it provides an opening for the other word. Okay? Now, going to the next tool, the white one known as the direct selection tool. That one allows you to manipulate the handles, as you can see here. So I can stretch out using that white arrow. I can also grab hold of this handle known as a Bezier handle, and that just allows you to change the curvature. You only get these handles when there's a curve. You never get a handle where there's a right angle. Okay? So I'm not going to spend too much time on that because you guys understand what I want you to do. You're just creating a nice arrangement, an interesting arrangement. Now you know how I've overlapped some of these letters, and that again is going to allow a bigger opening for the next word. Okay. So the next step is to take your type tool and create another layer. So I'm going to go ahead and take visibility off the crazy, and I'm going to click on the canvas, and there you see I have my type layer, and I'm going to change the color. And I want to use a color that works well with purple, something that has high contrast. And if you know anything about color theory, basic color theory, purple and yellow are complementary colors. So that's why I'm going to use that. So I'm going to say OK. I do want to change the font, as I mentioned before, because we want to use a variety of options here. And I'll just put insane, as it is the opposite of crazy. So I'm going to double click that because I don't think this one is going to actually allow me to convert to shape. So let me see if it does. No, it doesn't. Some fonts don't work, so that means I've got to choose a different font. So Terminal will not work. And I'll use this one. This one, what does that say? Can you guys see that?
Tecton.
Hagen? Tecton. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe enlarge that a little bit, but I am going to bring my visibility back because I do want to see how it overlaps and see if it's going to work. So now I can right-click, convert to shape, and now I'm going to move those in and arrange those differently. Okay? Make sure when you do arrange your letters that we can actually see or read the word. So I can still read the word. Now, who thinks they know what the next step is? Now, notice I didn't use my direct selection, so you're going to want to do that also. But I'm going to stop short of doing that just to increase or to save video time. What's your name up there? Matthew, sorry, I don't have my seating chart. Matthew, what's the next step?
Next step is go to the layers.
Okay.
Hold Alt
Hold Alt or Option, good.
and go and slowly hover over between two layers until that icon shows.
Okay, good. So you see the black icon. This is only going to happen if you hold down Option. Very good, Matthew. So if I click it, you can see how the clipping mask was created. Now, I'll show you an easier way. Good job, Matt, because he's right. You can also right-click and choose Create Clipping Mask. Now, I could have told you that the first time, but I did want to know, I wanted you to know the other way as well. So now, while it's in this mode, I can still take my path selection tool and make some changes. So you should be able to do that and want to do that. Now, last step is to add some one layer style per letter per word. So in this case, it's drop shadow for my crazy, and for my insane. Actually, that's not opposite, is it? Oh, you guys, you didn't tell me. Actually, those are the same words, aren't they? Are they the same meaning? So I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
You said we weren't allowed to talk.
Yeah, so why are you talking? That's okay. Good job. You passed my test. Bevel and emboss, I'll use that for the insane. Okay, obviously, I have to check my own sanity. So here's what I'm going to do. What can I easily do? Well, actually, this is a good way to let you understand something. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take my black path tool and delete. See how easy that is? There, now they're opposites, aren't they? So I'm going to take my S, move it over here, do Control T, and make that bigger. There, problem solved. Now it's not looking so insane. Okay. So I've got all the requirements, and this lesson is done. Thank you for your participation, your patience, and your attention. Save it, of course, and say OK to that, and click Done.